Hello, sir.
You.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Heads up, we are currently streaming right now.
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
sending some links around, but we are live on YouTube. So
Nice.
yeah, don't say anything incriminating about me or my cat. Let's see. You're distant from me, but that could just be a me problem.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm stuffed up, man. I got allergies today. It's crazy. Pollen is madness.
Oh man. Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, Schroeder. Okay. All right, say something else.
Check one. Check one.
Much better. Much better.
All right.
All right, man. How you been?
Good. I mean, it's been a very what can I say, man? It's a busy week. I had a lot personally going on. But I'm here. I'm here. Could be doing a lot worse.
Well, good. I'm very glad to hear it. My work's been crazy. We For the people who don't know, I'm a hotel concierge, and one of our properties hasn't really been up to par, so they had to bring in the heavy hitters to save the day. And it's been me for the last 3 weeks. And man, I forgot what it's like to be busy for 10 straight hours a day.
Wow. So like you're like the wolf in Pulp Fiction, come in and fix it.
Yeah, except I'm pretty sure Marvin is still just all over the back seat of this hotel. To continue this analogy, like I think, like I don't think I'm the wolf. I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know how to complete this analogy. I don't know. I'm Jules trying my best. I need the wolf. Is what I need.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. Well, we got one person here on the stream. I'm just firing the link around here a little bit. This part that we're doing right now might not even make the podcast, to be honest, because I'm just firing the link. So
I didn't get it. I don't know if you got my text.
I
didn't
did.
get it.
I sent you one, but hang on. Here we go. 1 second. I'm also a bit under the weather, so not COVID though. Got tested. It is not COVID.
Yeah, my allergies are killing me. It's what it is. If I sound nasally, that's what it is.
All right, Cleve, you should see something called the private chat on here.
Yeah, there we go.
And I just sent the link there so you can forward it on to whoever.
Okay.
Anyways, shout out to Don.
Done.
For
Good sir.
being
How
here
are
right
you?
now. Dad, how's my sound? I can never like tell how the sound is. The settings I'm working on. Let me know if I sound like normal, too low, too high, whatever. All right. Okay. We're about to get started here. I'm gonna like actually start the show.
Okay.
Because producer Jeff did show me how to edit. So, I'm actually watching the YouTube. That ain't gonna work. Now that I've got the link, I'm going to close that. I don't need to see that anymore.
Did you hit record?
It's recording automatically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's pretty awesome. Okay, good. Paul's here. He says the sound. The sound is good. Emma Franklin says the sound is good. Excellent.
Check.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't disturb.
Hi, Emma.
Yeah. I have to negotiate with my cat to get my notes. Excuse me 1 second.
What's your cat's name? You said Schroeder?
This one is Schroeder, yeah.
Like Ricky Schroeder? Don't disappoint me and say that's Ricky Schroeder.
No, it's like Jay Schrader, the former Raiders quarterback. No, it's Schroeder from Charlie Brown playing the piano.
Okay. Good.
Hence why the other one is Emma Franklin. Franklin's from Charlie Brown.
Okay.
So
good save, my man. Good save.
So I got that. It's not a save. I mean, that's the origin of their names. I mean, nothing to do about that.
I was taking it to a dark place.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're about to start the show, and here we go. All right, welcome to Political Football. This is the live stream we're doing on YouTube now. This will also be going up as a podcast. So if you're listening to the podcast feed and you're surprised to find out it's a live stream, don't feel too bad. Very few people currently know about the live stream, but now you do. You can find us at youtube.com/political football podcast. Although Maddie Ice did a great job. And if you go to Google and do YouTube political football podcast, we just dominate. Come right up first. The only thing we just absolutely crush. So easy to find through Google as well. Obviously, please like the broadcast, subscribe to the page. All those things really, really do help us get seen by more people. So yeah, so we're going to be back tonight. We're going to talk about some NFL news that we missed while we were away over the last month. And if we have time, we're going to preview the USFL coming up this weekend. But first, I want to bring on my co-host, Clev. Clev, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hopefully, everyone can hear me good. A little nasally, so I'm full cold core. The throat is good, but the nose is stuffed up. But it's good. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good to see you too. We were talking a little bit before we started the podcast portion how we've both been very busy recently, but we have not been as busy as the NFL. So we did our last live stream March 16th, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a little test run to see if this would work or whatever. And then we said, we'll come back in April. We'll talk about the draft. All the big news has happened. Tom Brady is back and Russell Wilson is in Denver. Like, what else could possibly happen? So on March 17th, the Packers traded Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders. So little did we know. So the Packers now end up with the 22nd and 28th overall picks in this year's draft. I cannot wait for them to draft a guard and a defensive lineman, and not a wide receiver. Cleveland, when this move happened, did you like it for either side when it happened? Dislike it? How did you feel about it?
Davante Adams?
Yeah.
I felt like basically they got Rodgers to stay, but they couldn't get both of them to stay. And it was kind of like the big, like, we're going to just get this guy out of here because we're not going to pay him. And I hate the fact that, he became a casualty of that because he outplayed his contract. He definitely outplayed his contract. They should have made everything possible to keep him. But, at the end of the day, he got to go where he can get paid. He knows where his bread is buttered.
Green Bay did offer him more money.
But then what was the hang up?
He wanted to leave Green Bay because I think their front office probably sucks. Like as like to work with. Like we suspected with all the things around Rodgers. Like, Rodgers was doing this whole song and dance and looking to leave. And I was like, I think it's a toxic work environment. And now Davante Adams did leave. I really think there might be something to that.
Yeah. I mean, we know the gremlin's there. And then Rodgers, 2 more years there? If that?
He signed a 3 years, $150 million.
So 3 years. Okay. So you think he retires as a Packer?
Oh, probably. I mean, maybe the team just goes completely to shit, and he's not able to do it at, as a Packer. He'll retire, get traded, maybe one more last run. I don't know. Broncos, they seem to always collect old quarterbacks and make one more run at it. But maybe they'll be a team like Rams where it's like, hey, we only need a quarterback and we'll be a contender and we'll give you 2 firsts for Aaron Rodgers for his last year or something. But I think Rodgers is looking to retire as a Packer. Okay. Davante Adams got 4 years, $141 million, which is just a ton of money for a player that probably has, 2 years tops left at the level that he's at, given his age. Mm-hmm. But so when the Raiders first made this deal, I hated it. Like if we had done this show on March 17th, I would have been just reading the Raiders, the riot act up and down for this. But now I've had time to think about it. I actually like it a little bit more because the Raiders actually are in their championship window right now. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a shitty one, but it is there, right? They've got Derek Carr, who's 31. Josh Jacobs is still on his rookie contract. They're going to have to pay him or let him go pretty soon. Darren Waller is 30. Hunter Renfrow might be Julian Edelman. And so then you bring in Davante Adams, and this team did make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
So, we look at them that they're garbage, but like compared to their divisional opponents, but they're actually not that bad.
You make good points. That's a good point. I didn't look at it like that. That's really a good point.
Yeah, because we compare them like to the Chiefs, who are obviously better, although
Mhm.
worse than they were. We'll get to that. The Broncos got better by adding Russ, and the Chargers were always better. And they got Justin Herbert, and they added Khalil Mack and what's his face, the corner there from New England, names escape and be the top corner on the market. So we always think the Raiders are the last team in the division, but they could still be a good team as the worst team in the division. And just because their division mates are good doesn't mean they should just quit.
Correct.
This is just bad timing for them. But like, this is it. Like, this is their time to go for it. So Paul got me laughing on the show. Paul says, break up the AFC West.
You want like a Brexit? Or what do you want?
Yeah, exactly. Man, Pete Carroll versus Boris Johnson. I don't know who I'd rather have running my organization.
Hey, choose good gum.
Well, Pete Carroll, I think, is pretty liberal, but Boris Johnson is kind of funny. I don't know. Either way, I don't think I'd want. I don't think I'd want either of them. Now, when this deal happened, it wasn't known immediately if Rodgers knew that Davante Adams wasn't coming back when he signed.
I don't think he did.
He did. So it's been confirmed. He did know.
He did know.
Yes, really? That Davante Adams had told him, I'm not coming back. And he made the decision to come back anyways. So my question is, why in the world did Rodgers come back? I mean, they're wide receivers right now because Marquez Valdes-Scantling has signed in Kansas City, which we'll get to. So, like, oh boy. Apparently Pete Carroll's a 9/11 truther, according to Paul. So I guess I'm going to have to take Boris Johnson. Oh boy. Who also take Boris Johnson or the Packers to play wide receiver because it's literally Alan Lazard and honestly, I don't even know because I think Equinemius St. Brown is gone.
That's a real name.
That is, yeah, because his brother Amon-Ra St. Brown plays for the Lions.
Amon-Ra, wow.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, so like they're going to try to draft a wide receiver at 22. Maybe they try to draft one at 22 and 28. It's certainly a deep wide receiver class, but if you're Rodgers and you know you're losing Davante Adams, I mean, go to Pittsburgh, honestly. Like, just go play with Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris and TJ Watt. Like, why are you going to come back to Green Bay and have literally nobody to throw to?
Yeah, it's weird. Must be something afoot.
I mean, the NFC is just pure garbage. So the Packers, like, they'll probably win the NFC North again, and they'll make the divisional round. But then they're going to have to beat one of or two of the Bucks, Rams, 49ers, Cowboys, and then whatever just hellacious demon spawn survives the AFC in the Super Bowl without Davante Adams. They scored 7 points in their playoff loss last year, offensively. 7 offensive points at home with Davante Adams.
Shocking.
Yeah, I get why they would trade Davante Adams and get good, great value for him. I don't understand why Rodgers would agree to come back there, but whatever. I'm just waiting on that collapse. So that was March 17th, right? March 16th, we do the last show. March 17th, we get Davante Adams to the Raiders. March 18th, Deshaun Watson is traded to the Cleveland Browns for 3 first-round picks.
Man.
Yeah, just go. Just give your thoughts on it.
Well, okay. So obviously, I'm not here to cast guilt or innocence on anybody because I wasn't there. I don't know what that situation is about. But obviously, them having a quarterback that was in a contract year sucked because the reports were that they were out of the runnings to get him. He was in Miami and what's the other team?
Atlanta, New Orleans.
I'm sorry, yeah. So he was looking at a couple of options, and then somebody came out and said that they weren't interested in going to Cleveland, and all of a sudden that happened. Like, and then Baker's probably like, what the fuck? And he reacted like anybody would. Like, people say, oh, that was childish, whatever. But I'm like, he reacted because the guy played hurt, and you guys heard me last season say that I would have shut it down, knowing that my shoulder's not good and we're probably not going anywhere. So why would I risk, playing and putting out bad tape? So I would have shut it down. but obviously he trooped it and he played, and then his reward is that. And then he got a very rude awakening that no one wanted him, and that was kind of messed up
Yeah,
because no one.
the Panthers and Baker had mutual disinterest.
Damn.
Which is funny. I have mutual disinterest in either of them as well.
See, and I was a guy against Baker, and then that year I kind of, I warmed up to the guy, but this is the nature of the business, obviously, and I hope that he does land well. You think he's going to stay? Have they moved him yet?
No, they have not, but apparently he's trying to do everything he can. Paul's informing us that Baker went on a podcast today and ripped the Browns pretty good.
Wow.
I didn't see that, so I was trying to arrange private tours of the Lincoln bedroom for rich people. So I must have missed that podcast. But yeah, I mean, Baker does need to get out of there. But the thing is, I completely forgot about Baker as a member of the Cleveland Browns. I made all my notes. See, I made all my notes for this topic. Didn't even think about Baker one time.
Wow.
Like it didn't even come to my mind. Like, oh yeah, how does this affect Baker Mayfield? What's Baker going to do? How does Baker feel about it? Like he was immediately out of mind because he is so much worse at quarterback than Deshaun Watson. And then all the other shit Deshaun Watson brings, like it's all I thought about. But I mean, you're right. Like Baker, the Colts didn't want him.
Yep.
So they traded for Matt Ryan instead, which we'll touch on briefly. The Panthers have mutual disinterest. It's the Seahawks are going to stick with Drew Lock apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So where does he go?
And New Orleans is keeping. Well, they're going to bring back Jameis. Well, yeah, he should be recovered from his injury by now.
Yeah,
but you tell me that obviously, all right. So let me ask you something. Do you think Baker's a number one still? QB1?
Would you take him over Zach Wilson?
Oh man, the grenade right away. Yeah, I think I would. Jets Nation, I'm sorry, but I would. Seeing that play out there, I'll take Baker in a heartbeat. A good Baker with a good shoulder.
Would you take him over Jared Goff?
Oh shit!
Right.
Def is not an option, right?
Quarterback of the Jets, Baker or Jared Goff?
Well, I've seen what he did for you guys, so no, I'll take Zach. I'll keep Zach. I think I'm good.
Okay. So then
Jeff Fisher,
and then Jeff Fisher's coming up later too.
I know he is.
Yeah, he's making a return. Yeah, I think Baker Mayfield probably should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like it's really rough for him to receive the Mitch Trubisky treatment, but they're just kind of showing us their cards right now, and that they like none of these teams want him. Maybe they're just trying to wait to drive the value down and try to get him for a little bit less.
Yeah, you go down.
Yeah, Don coming in with the strong, well thought out takes. Goff sucks, which is, I mean, I think that's confirmed true. He's at least confirmed below average. I'm not sure sucks is exactly right.
He's not a top 15 guy.
No.
Yeah, so he sucks. If he's not a top 15, there's only 32.
That's it. It's binary. You're either in the top 15 or you suck.
Exactly. There you go. That's the boomer take.
Okay. That's it. I like it. Boomer takes. If you're not in the top half of the team or the quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, and you suck. All right, I can go along with that. Somebody else who sucks as a human being though is Deshaun Watson. So the first one I have here is fuck Deshaun Watson. I will be rooting against him forever, just like Ben Roethlisberger, just like Tyreek Hill, just like Adrian Peterson. Right. And there's a couple really scummy ways that Cleveland went about this. Mm-hmm. The first is that what I think got Cleveland back in the running. First, they gave him 5 years, $230 million fully guaranteed.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I mean, so that's a heavy commitment, right? And they traded 3 first-round picks for him. So, I mean, they have invested team's future financially. It's a huge investment into Deshaun Watson. The reason why they got back into this is because of that $230 million this first year, he's only making $1 million. So when he gets suspended for some games, his game checks will be so low compared to the whole contract, it's not even going to hurt him.
Yeah.
Even if he gets the whole season, he's going to lose $1 million out of 230 that is guaranteed to him.
Yeah. Strategic.
Also, I think that's a loophole, and I have no idea if the NFL can like retroactively do anything about that. Like,
yeah, I mean, they probably could offset and find them, suspend them next season.
Maybe, but that, like, there's the whole thing with the union, and like, are they going to suspend him 2 years with no criminal, criminal indictments or anything? I think that's something that the NFL needs to fix and just be like, you'll be charged against the entirety of your contract, not this year that you're in.
Isn't that type of stuff in the contract where I don't know the wording obviously, but since it's not in the criminal courts, but it is, the league can step in and do something about that. The league can say, hey, that's not what the shield represents, or whatever, and we're going to suspend you. And like I said, realm of 6 games ish is what that probably gets him, because there's no criminal complaints. There's no convictions or charges.
Well, there's no criminal complaints like legally. Now I think he's going to get 6 games this year as well. He might actually even get more because he wasn't ever suspended last year, so he got his full salary last year as well. Wow. But as far as like suspending him next year instead, or for 2 years, so there's a financial penalty, I don't think they can do that. But the next collective bargaining agreement, they need to make it that that when you miss 6 games, you get fined across your entire contract, not just like for that 1 year that you're in for your contract. Because like I said, I think that this is a loophole. I don't think there's anything that the NFL can do about it. And as like a pro labor person, I'm not even sure that they should be able to do anything about it from like that aspect. But
so Peter thinks he's not going to get suspended. What would be the argument? What would be the defense of why he wouldn't be suspended?
Yes, Peter, please tell us why he's not going to get suspended. That would be Paul, sir.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm sorry.
No, he's Peter now forever. This is amazing. That's how nicknames happen. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be suspended before. When we did the show a month ago, we didn't think he was going to get suspended either. I don't see that there's a single way, though, with him probably like going to face civil trials.
Oh yeah, he's going to have to cut a check. Yeah. The optics is too bad. The optics is too bad. Like for that situation, that's it's not good.
Yeah, the other thing that was really scummy about this is that the Cleveland Browns, when making this decision, I mean, they made the decision to make all this investment into Deshaun Watson, right? 3 first-round picks, $230 million, pretty much the reputation of anybody who was a decision maker within that organization, which means that they must have come to the conclusion that he's not going to do something like this again, right? Or else why would you make this investment, right? The risk would be way too high. However, they made this decision to make this investment without speaking to a single one of the 22 accusers. And to me, that is organizational malpractice, because you cannot possibly get an accurate sense of if you think Deshaun Watson is going to do something like this again without speaking to the accusers. And so, to my mind, the Browns have made a huge mistake here. I think that Deshaun Watson probably is likely to do something like this again, because when you have 22 accusers and haven't had to take any responsibility for what happened, I'd be a little concerned for, the people of Cleveland. So, it's just, I don't know what is so pervasive in society to where the Browns would not even speak to the accusers before shelling out 3 first-round picks and $230 million. Right?
The culture of
all your diligence for making a decision.
It's the culture of winning. It's Don. Thank you for that, because I totally 100% agree. It's the culture of winning, man. It's like, a Super Bowl berth or a Super Bowl win or a playoff win. Things are going to get overlooked. They felt that they did their due diligence, air quotes, and they've said, "Oh, there's nothing to see here. I think we're good." Again, this is not like it's 3 accusers. This is 22. It's a pretty
Right.
good number. If 22 people said that that you did something, it's probably likely, that's going on. So, I don't know. I just, because I have no dog in the fight, I do feel bad for the victims of all of this. And I don't include him in the victim either, because some people that I know personally says that he's a victim of, he's been targeted. I'm like, I don't know
I just
about
want to
all
make
of that.
something very clear here. If you think Deshaun Watson is a victim of this situation, you're an asshole, and I don't like you. And I really hope Will Smith thinks you said something about Jada, because that's what you deserve.
Yeah, I got tired of arguing it, because again, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But again, I just like, you know what? It's just like in the NFL, there's so many things that go unchecked, and this is par for the course. Like, are we surprised? No, I'm not. I don't know if you are. I'm not
I
surprised
actually
at
am
all.
surprised that that the Browns did not talk to some of the accusers.
They're the fucking
Because,
Browns, bro. Like,
well, I mean that is true, and it's also in Ohio. But even with all that, like, because you mentioned the culture of winning and doing your due diligence. Well, if he ends up in prison 18 months from now, because now there is a criminal complaint for doing the same thing again, you're not getting your money back,
what if?
right? You're certainly not getting your draft picks back.
What if there's like a video that surfaces or something like that shows what? Because I don't know exactly what each complaint was. Like, is it the same thing over and over again? Like, is he exposing himself, or he's looking for a happy ending? Like, what was it?
I think the nature of each complaint, I don't think they're all the same, but it's all kind of that same general thing. Yeah.
Okay.
With some like not good. Like, yeah, like it's bad. You know, I cannot imagine running a multi-billion-dollar franchise and making a huge investment like this without actually, and I'm not saying that Jimmy Haslam should have called up the accusers or whatever, but you get some fancy investigator person, I don't know, Jessica Jones, and you have them do it. Like, you have to get the full story of the situation. Even if you don't give a shit about what Deshaun Watson did and you only care about winning, you have to care about if you think he's going to do it again. Because if he does, you're not going to win.
That's facts.
I just quickly glancing through my notes. Oh yeah, this was a great deal for the Texans, by the way. I mean, they got rid of this creepy scumbag and got 3 first-round picks for him. Now, I bet Queen Elizabeth would love to get 3 first-round picks for Prince Andrew.
I can't.
And we're banned in Britain. That's all right.
Yeah, we're done.
That's all right. Prince Harry will restore my my earldom. So that's March 18th. We get Deshaun Watson. March 21st, Matt Ryan gets traded to the Colts. And because this happened with like all this other stuff going on, and we're going to get something that happened 2 days after this that was huge, and like nobody really had time to really process this. But Matt Ryan is a significant upgrade on Carson Wentz, and the Colts were 1 win against Jacksonville for making the playoffs last year.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, this is a huge deal for the Colts. I mean, they are a lot better.
For getting rid of Carson Wentz.
Well, yeah, that too. Man, it's funny. It turns out he seems like he kind of sucks too. Probably not like how Deshaun Watson does, but nobody really seems to like being around Carson Wentz.
I keep asking you guys if we can use the B word with him yet. Is he a bust or not? What does the panel think? Is he a bust? Is Carson Wentz a bust or not?
Well, at this point, he almost has to be. I mean, at this point,
we've seen enough. We've seen enough.
Yeah, he has to be. I mean, you can't be in your 3rd team in 6 years as the number 2 overall pick and not be a bust, right?
Yeah. I think we're at that stop on this train.
Yeah. If he had been successful in Indy and then like signed a long-term deal there, you know, even if he was never like a great quarterback, he wouldn't have been a bust per se. But honestly, right now, would you rather have Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones?
Wow. I would have to take Danny Dimes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I would take
100%.
And I can't believe I said that out loud. Giants fans, I can't believe I said that out loud.
Carson Wentz or Mitch Trubisky?
You know, I like Mitch, man. I like Mitch.
Carson Wentz or Marcus Mariota?
shit. Wow, I'm going with shit. Yeah, that's a hard pause, man. I would have to call a lifeline in. Don, what do you think? Don, are you there? You there, sir? Give me something, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I certainly would not trade Jared Goff for Carson Wentz. I mean, not
No,
at all.
No.
I wouldn't trade a third round draft pick for Carson Wentz. Like if we didn't have Jared Goff on the team and we were stuck with David Blau and whoever else is on the roster right now, I still wouldn't trade for Carson Wentz. Like I'd rather just sign whoever the star USFL quarterback is, him coming and play. Right.
Okay.
So basically, I think of Carson Wentz the way Don thinks of Jared Goff. Like Carson Wentz sucks.
Yeah, no, he's not a top 15 guy. If you don't crack the top 15, I don't even think he cracked the top 20.
I don't know if he's a top 15 of the second 15. Like he might be 31 or 32.
Shit. Here we go.
I mean, it's got to be close. So, but the Colts are not a bad team. And it seems like a lot of their struggles last year were actually because of Carson Wentz. They have a great running back in Jonathan Taylor. They have a fantastic offensive line with Quentin Nelson. Well, Don has spoken. He'd rather have Carson Wentz than Jared Goff.
No, I mean, you guys have seen enough, man. I mean, you jettison your guy out. The guy goes and wins the Super Bowl. Like that right there. It's enough. I've seen enough.
I wouldn't trade a fifth round pick for Carson Wentz. I'm telling you, this guy is no good. And I have to be honest, I'm a little like biased against him more than just on the field because he's one of these like pretentious, like devout, put in your face sort of religious type people. Not like you're like quietly religious or you're like sincerely religious, but it's like he's like you could just tell he rubs people the wrong way, including his head coach Frank Reich, who is like just sort of quiet, like a very like pious person.
Mm-hmm.
And that personality type is one of my least favorite personality types. That like Mike Pence bullshit, like where you're trying too hard, or like Billy Graham, like bro, you're not impressing anybody. You're not more into Jesus than the nice lady down the street. Calm down, go win a football game. Yeah. We get it. All right. So I might be a little bit more biased in this case, but yeah, the Colts though, great running back, great offensive line, decent defense, good head coach, Matt Ryan going to a dome again. So, are they better than the Titans?
Who's the Titans quarterback now?
Ryan Tannehill.
So and King Henry's back, right?
Yeah, I mean, she'll be back full strength. Still got AJ Brown. Julio's gone. They kicked him to the curb.
I mean, no disrespect to Julio, but yeah, I mean, the time has passed, man.
I think he's got one more year. I think he's got one more year of being like a good complementary piece on a good team.
So like what, number 2, number 3 option? He's definitely not a number 1.
I think he can do for a team what Odell Beckham did for the Rams this year. Show up later in the year, not at the start. He's clearly not interested in football too much. So he sits out to Thanksgiving, stays in shape working out, but shows up after that, comes in, ingratiates himself, into the team, and the playoffs hit and he's ready to go. Green Bay, Kansas City, Dallas, right? Something like that. And I think if he did something like that, he has one more year of really being able to contribute. After that, life comes at you fast. He is pretty close to being
well in football years he's played a lot of football.
Yes.
High level football too.
And he's big, which he will continue to be, but he was big and super athletic. And I think he's actually the biggest super athletic player, wide receiver we've seen get to this point, because Calvin Johnson retired at 30.
Yeah.
So he never fell off. He retired basically at his peak. Randy Moss retired at 32-ish, but he wasn't done. Like Randy Moss was not just completely washed when he left, right?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He had a couple more years in him.
I guess it's Owens. Terrell Owens
Yeah.
was washed at the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we might be getting with Julio here.
Yeah. No,
But yeah.
no problems there with that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that the Colts are actually a real sneaky pick to win the division, because they ain't gonna be Jacksonville, they ain't gonna be Houston. So, right? I mean, if the Raiders were in that division, the Raiders probably win this division by 3 games.
Yeah.
One last note on this, and this is about the Atlanta side. So President Ulysses S. Grant is on the $50 bill, president after the Civil War. So it turns out that Ulysses S. Grant was a great Civil War general. I mean, fantastic, right? Pretty much won the war. He was absolute trash at everything else in his life. Failed at business, failed as a lawyer, failed as president. He was awful at everything except being a general. So with that said, Home Depot is a great store, and I'm glad Arthur Blank brought us Home Depot, but he's basically General Grant, because he is shit at everything. Like, he tries to bring in Deshaun Watson, who is from Georgia, and loses him to the Cleveland Browns because he gets outsmarted or out scumbagged by the Browns in the way they did his contract. But in doing so, alienated Matt Ryan so bad they have to trade Matt Ryan for like a 3rd round pick, basically nothing. And then they have to sign Marcus Mariota to come in. They have no idea what they're going to do at quarterback. So you combine that with 28-3, showing up on the field to celebrate and then losing the game. Honestly, Arthur Blank is only good at developing a chain of hardware stores. I think, I bet he can't cook. I bet he can't sing. I bet this guy just sucks at literally everything else.
Well, the thing about Grant drank a lot. So
yeah,
at least he had that in his corner. He drank a lot.
You.
Huh?
It was the 1860s. Water would kill you.
He drank his presidency. He's a heavy drinker.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought it was a interesting little.
Give me. I know we're live. Give me 2 seconds. I got to grab something.
No, you're
My
good.
Notes.
Yeah, you're good. I can sit here and talk for a couple seconds. So the next thing we are going to talk about when Cleve does come back to the live stream is this Urban Meyer article that came out. And so if you're live with us in the chat right now and you're familiar with this story, did you think Urban Meyer was joking when he said he didn't know who Aaron Donald was? Because I don't think he was joking. The reason for that is that kind of joke is self-deprecating, and I don't think Urban Meyer's the type to make a self-deprecating joke. I don't think he's capable. I don't think he's able of making fun of himself or his lack of knowledge, because he has to know that people didn't think that highly of him, his knowledge of the NFL when he showed up. He's college his entire career, shows up in Jacksonville. So he probably didn't know who Aaron Donald was, or should have. So the joke would make some sense. However, I don't think Urban Meyer is capable of making fun of himself to be like, haha, who's this number 99 guy? He seems like he could be a problem. I think he was probably sincerely asking who is this number 99 guy? I think he could be a problem.
What did I miss?
I just introduced the Urban Meyer is more of a scumbag article that came out where he didn't know who Aaron Donald was.
Man, more reason that you're not in the NFL no more, buddy. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Urban Meyer is an elite piece of shit. I
love when you say that. I love when you say that. You need to coin that.
I just don't think he so elite piece of shit club on this show so far is now Brett Kavanaugh and Urban Meyer. Brett Kavanaugh can't make fun of himself either. He can't make a self-deprecating joke. It's not even possible. So yeah, I just don't I don't know exactly what to make of this. So
Don, because he's the urban cowboy. He's the urban cowboy. How do you not know who Aaron Donald is? It's criminal. That's criminal.
Yeah. So what Herb needed to do was go to Mike McCarthy's barn and learn about the NFL and figure out what was going on. Shout out to Jason joining us here for the live stream. Big football guy. So welcome, Jason. Glad to have you here. Yeah, a lot of people were like saying, "Oh, Urban Meyer was joking." He was joking.
No, he wasn't joking.
He cannot make fun of himself. And as a reminder, he kicked the kicker.
Yeah, that was messed up. Man.
The Matt Ryan news was March 21st.
Okay.
Urban Meyer was March 22nd, and then it all disappeared. What up, Joe? It all disappeared because on the 23rd, Tyreek Hill got traded to the Dolphins out of the blue, completely out of the blue. So, Cleve, what was like your first sort of thoughts when this was happening and you were hearing about this? Because remember, it was either going to be the Dolphins or your Jets.
I got a little excited for like a second, and then I realized that that wasn't going to happen. He's looking at the upside. Obviously, Tua is better than my guy. He's figuring that same division, and he can probably help himself to some wins, you know. So yeah, I mean, you're picking New Jersey over Florida. No state income tax. Kind of warm weather all year round for the most part. New Jersey's seasons. So yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen with us.
Yeah. I mean, when it came out that it was going to be Miami or the Jets, I was like, well, it's going to be Miami, right? I mean, unless the Jets just offer a great deal. But the thing is, the Jets could not offer a deal as good. Actually, that's not true. I think in like the draft value chart, the Jets offer was a little bit better, but because the Dolphins included another first round pick, that's more valuable for the Chiefs because they can get that 5th-year option on whoever they take, which they need because they're going to have to pay Patrick Mahomes $800 million a year when they redo his deal. So they need rookie contracts for longer. So I think the Jets, they could have ended up in this draft with picks 30, 34, and 36 maybe. And instead they ended up with 29 and 30. And the Jets offer would have been better in general. But for them, because they can keep those 2 players for 5 years, that ended up being better. Don missed the Tyreek Hill news when it happened. Yeah, man, this stuff was coming out fast and furious when it was going on. So he goes to the Chiefs, send Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. What did you think about this move for the Chiefs?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. No, the other co-host. Yeah, you.
Well, first I thought something happened where he wanted out. And I don't know if that maybe he asked for more money. Usually that's kind of what it is. You kind of go back to the well and you're like, hey, so I need some more money. And they're like, no. And you try your wares on the open market and see what you can fetch. So I thought that initially because I was like, why would they let him go? And I didn't remember what they let him go for. What was the picks?
Man, I didn't know what it was. I know they got the Dolphins first round pick this year.
Okay.
And they got more than that. I don't think they got 2 first round picks for them. I think that maybe a second next year as well. But they got it was good. What they got. Like they didn't get fleeced or anything. So the Chiefs now are down to Travis Kelce, who's 32 on a tight end, which means that when it goes, it's going to go fast. Remember Jimmy Graham? Jimmy Graham was the man, and then he was at Burger King, like within like 6 months. When it goes for tight ends, it really goes. So they got Travis Kelce. They have Mecole Hardman. Byron Pringle left and went to the Bears, so their problems are solved. Demarcus Robinson left and went to the Vikings. They brought in Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So they have Juju, MVS, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. That's not particularly imposing.
When you had a weapon, I mean, we saw that guy get in gear. I mean, there was no way he would have left the building without something else.
Yeah, so he did. He wanted more money. And so Devontae Adams got this huge deal from the Raiders and became the highest paid wide receiver in football. And Tyreek Hill was like, I should be the highest paid wide receiver in football. And the Chiefs correctly said, no, you shouldn't, because Devontae Adams is overpaid. But the thing is, Devontae Adams is overpaid because Christian Kirk got $18 million a year and reset the market.
Yeah.
So now all of them are overpaid. And it's insane. Like the Jaguars screw up signing Christian Kirk, and the Packers lose Devontae Adams, and the Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill. Now, What did you think about this move from the Dolphins side?
I thought it was great. I mean, they're stacking their chips. I mean, they're rebuilding. Obviously, they're getting out of the situation with Flores, and hopefully that's blown over. Or it's if it's true, we're gonna see what's going on with that at some point. But that story died down quickly, so there's no more of that for right now.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that it died down. We just had all this other news come about, and I think that it's like into the legal process now. So like Brian Flores isn't going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And so I mean, the league's not going to talk about it. What are they going to do? Keep bringing it up?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think lawyers have advised Brian Flores now you don't talk about it anymore. And then so now there's not somebody out there pushing it. But I don't think that like the lawsuit's going away or lost steam or anything like that. It's just going to resurface again as it goes through the legal process.
So obviously, I'm not a Tua guy. And I think that's the weak link on that team because they did get better by getting Tyreek and the existing people that are there. But again, I just don't think Tua durable for the most part. And I just think that he's not a top 15 guy.
He might be exactly 15. I never go through and rank the quarterbacks, so I never have to answer these definitively. But he might actually be like number 15 and a half. Like he might be right in the middle. 16 and a half is in the middle. I don't know. I was told there'd be no math. So something I noted about this trade, at first I didn't like it for the Dolphins. Basically, if you trade for a player and then sign that player at a market rate, you have overpaid for that player. That's a point that was made eloquently by Adam Harstad on Twitter. So if you give up all the draft picks and everything to get Tyreek Hill, that's you paying for him. If you then turn around and give him a huge contract that like he deserves, now you're way overpaying because you give up the draft picks and the money for him. So at first I didn't like this trade, but you mentioned something really interesting about Tua and how this is going to work out for him. The Dolphins last year had the worst offensive line in the league. And that's a league with the Bengals in it. And we saw what happened with the Bengals in the Super Bowl in their offensive line. The Dolphins were worse, run blocking and pass blocking. So there's that. They signed Teron Armstead. They probably signed like some guard that nobody's heard of, but he's probably pretty good. And they'll draft somebody in the third round. So they'll remake their offensive line a little bit. The running back last year was Myles Gaskin. Cleve, tell me one thing about Myles Gaskin.
Is he still in the league?
Who knows or cares, right? And that's kind of the point. So they bring in Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, both of whom are starting level running backs in the NFL, to replace Myles Gaskin. So that's a huge upgrade there, right? Mike McDaniel, who was the offensive coordinator at the 49ers last year, has Jalen Waddle. He can use a bit like Debo, probably not straight handoffs, but shorten down the field. They bring in Tyreek Hill. They have Mike Gesicki on the franchise tag this year. We will know about Tua after this year. We can't know right now which one of us is right. Like I can make a strong upside case. You can make a strong downside case, but we really can't know right now. But a year from now, we will absolutely know about Tua because of how this team is being constructed. And that makes this move really smart because if he sucks, they know they have to move on. And the coach knows 1 year into his term, which is important because he's only going to get 3 if it goes terribly. So he's got to figure that out quick so he can switch to the next thing.
Okay, fair enough. I having Fitzy come in for him to mop up was the proof that I needed, but what do I know? So yeah, you're right. We'll know after this season if like this experiment works. If you're a starting guy or you're backing up somebody.
Right. But then again, my strong upside case is that the offense was geared towards Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ownership forces Tua in before he's ready. So he's trying to run an offense that's not designed for him, but the coach doesn't think he should be in there, and it doesn't go well. Well, who would have expected anything different? Now the coach is designing the team for him. He's expected to be there. He's expected to do well, and the team is way more talented all around him than it was before. So, like it could happen. Like Tua could actually be very good, and he could be Jared Goff. Like we literally don't know, but we're going to know this season.
Fair enough.
Yep. So we got multiple first-round picks for Devontae and Tyreek and all these other draft picks and concessions and everything for Devontae and Tyreek. Do you remember what Bill O'Brien traded Nuke Hopkins to the Cardinals for?
Was it jelly beans and a bag of hash?
Oh yeah, that's actually right. It was actually oregano. He really got screwed on that one. No, it was a second round pick in David Johnson.
David Johnson, the running back?
Yes.
Is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's still on Houston, at least as far as I know. I mean, he lost his job to Rex Burkhead, but
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, as far as I know, he's still kicking around. But
did you see that the Brady Peyton Dolphins connection speculation? Did you hear about that?
No, I did not. What's up with that?
So if I remember this correctly, Tom wanted to be an owner, part ownership, like a stake in the Dolphins, and he would have gotten Sean Payton, that is, to come in to coach the team, and he may have played one more year for the Dolphins, which would have been amazing. I think that's exactly.
An owner?
Yeah, he was going to be like an owner player / like how the game was. It's like Malik wants to be an owner player. So yeah, that was the speculation. He wanted a stake in the team. This is before during the whole thing, the 40 days, whatever, that he was hashing out what he was going to do. He wanted to, get a stake ship in the Dolphins, and then he was going to play one more year with Peyton, Sean Payton, that is. Yeah, that
is incredible.
Yeah, in that division, like, you really want to take it to BB.
yeah. No, that's
man.
But stay in Florida.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's what exactly happened. What Paul said. So, and then the Flores news blew it up. That's what happened.
Wow. Did this just happen today? The speculation come out today?
No. This was if I remember, this was a couple weeks ago, like maybe a week or two ago. They talked about.
My goodness, I am way too busy drafting best ball and dynasty teams right now. I need to pay more attention to my football conspiracies.
Thank you, Paul, for throwing that in, because I remember that's what they're saying that blew it up.
Man, that's
too much heat for Brady to deal with that.
So as I was planning the show, I sent Clev an email with the topics today about 4 hours before the show begins, because that's what I do. And I said, was there anything else that I left out? And he said, yeah, when you talk about how Dan Snyder was taking all the money, and I have to admit, I don't know what he's talking about. I remember now, like, there was some sort of Dan Snyder something, and people were all enraged, like upset about it. But I just assumed there were like more allegations or something. Like, so what is going on with this? Like, he's stealing money. What's happening here?
So apparently, and this is all allegedly, this is political football alleging what I've been hearing. So basically, over the last 10 years, so a decade, they've been submitting 2 sets of books to the NFL. So the ownership share.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they were caught cooking books. At least that's the story on the street. They were cooking books. So like the game share revenue. So like when a team plays in FedEx Field,
yeah,
is that their stadium, FedEx Field?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's a college game. They took the proceeds from the NFL games and they piped it in to the college game, so that the revenue from the NFL games weren't as much. So it's to the tune of a few million, I think. I don't know the number. I heard 5 or something like that, but it obviously, I don't know if that was just for 1 year or if that's over the stretch. But stealing is stealing, and when you're in an ownership pool of money, it's a real scumbag move that you're getting 1 of 32. Everyone's contributing to your success. You're getting a piece of everyone's money.
Right, of course.
So yeah. So there are 2 sets of books cooking. Amazing story. It's still developing, but this is like congressional oversight now. Like, this is like big. This is like big, man. I mean, he's gonna end up losing his team because toxic work environment. All he needs right now is a racist rant to trifecta this thing and then just blow it all up. Nuclear option.
There's one out there. About having to change the name of that team. He's got something just
cooking,
just amazing. Like, yeah, like he's got something where, like, I don't know, the Seminoles are going to invade FedEx Field or something. Like, he's got something.
Yeah, so they were diverting a lot of funds from from proceeds of like the college games and or other games that are happening at FedEx Field, and they were there he is right there. Yep.
Yes.
This guy needs to be on the show, Paul. You need to be on the show because he knows what's going on.
He's got all the info. Yeah. So when I first moved to DC, Notre Dame came to play Navy at FedEx Field. So Paul, who went to Notre Dame, we won't hold that against him, is a big Notre Dame fan. He came and we went to the game, and it was a fun time. But I didn't know we were like, are we like partnered to a felony now? Was that
you guys were aiding and abetting. Amazing. Yeah, that's one of the games that they were talking about. Like that the proceeds from that game wasn't equally shared because again, it's happening in your stadium and you got to kick up the envelope to the other teams. Stupid, bro.
Yeah, that's little behind the scenes thing here. So Paul from the chat here, friend of mine, and then my dad Don, they do get along. However, my dad hates Notre Dame the way that like way more than he hates Jared Goff. I mean, he more than Ohio State. Like my dad really hates Notre Dame. And so he does actually hold the fact that Paul's Notre Dame against him, which is really funny. But conversely, Paul does not like Tesla, and my dad loves Tesla. So they can just argue back and forth about everything.
So it's a wash. It's a wash.
Yeah, exactly. One's a small mid-major football program in Indiana. The other is a major car company. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Spoiler, I don't like Notre Dame either. All right, Jason here with a really good comment. For the people listening, Jason says that McDaniel comes from the Shanahan coaching tree. I don't think it's a stretch to see Tyreek take on a Deebo Samuel role this season. This hides Tua and creates major problems for any defensive scheme. I actually completely agree with that take, and not just with Tyreek, but also with Jalen Waddle. He's got two players that he can use like Deebo Samuel, but who can also just burn down the field as deep threats. So I think it creates like a really unique situation and unique offense for them to be able to plan around. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Gesicki actually makes the Pro Bowl as a tight end this year, just because like he's 7'9" and runs like a 4.6. So if everybody's got to watch Tyreek and Jalen Waddle who can get the ball anywhere on the field, you're probably singling up on Mike Gesicki with a safety or a linebacker or something. And that's going to be a problem. All right, so we got Dan Snyder as a total scumbag. Was there any other major news that we miss? Apparently, Tom Brady wants to buy the Dolphins. Urban Meyer doesn't know who Aaron Donald is. Dan Snyder steals money.
And I want to send out a heartfelt condolences to the family of the NFL player that lost his life. You guys know who he is.
Yes, so, our DMV native Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I met him once 2 years ago at work, and really cool kid, big kid. I mean, I was like, wow, this is a big dude. He's a very big dude, and had about a good maybe 8-minute talk with him, just kind of like talking to him because he was training at the facility with some of the trainers that I'm friends with, and it seems surreal that he passed away, I mean, and then some of these idiots out there were talking about his play on the field. He's 4 years into he was going to be 4 years into a playing career. And some of these assholes has never even put on a helmet. And, to talk that shit about somebody who lost their life it was very distasteful. I don't want to name names on the show of who, but it was total bullshit. And
it was Gil Brandt. And Adam Schefter didn't do himself many favors either. It wasn't as bad, but it was definitely Gil Brandt. Gil Brandt is the name of the person, of the main offender.
Yeah, it's just messed up, man. And I just look at it as football is sports in America, larger than life. But these people are human beings. They have families, they have friends, they have parents. Stuff like that. And to have your life taken from you at 24, it's pretty tragic, man. You haven't
absolutely
begun to live yet,
Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah,
it really doesn't matter like that he wasn't good as an NFL quarterback. Who cares? Like, like that's not at all important to
yeah,
what happened here. So yeah, I'm with you. And um, I sent this to you and Matt, but I just want to, have it be known here, a lot of respect to Dwayne Haskins for 396 yards, 6 touchdowns, no picks against Michigan in the 2018 game, the 62-39 shellacking. And that Michigan team was 10-2. That was no pushover team. So he may have
yeah.
struggled in the NFL. He did not struggle in college.
Yeah, I mean,
Boy,
and
let me
again,
tell you.
and again, some of these guys taking shots, and I'm like, do you know what he does for a living? Do you know how hard that is? That's one of 32 jobs.
Yeah.
That's a very hard job. So yeah, and again, he was going into his 4th year. Who knows if there was going to be a snap turnaround, whatever. But it is what it is, man.
And he was drafted way too high by apparently a guy who's stealing all the money from the NFL.
Well, I mean, we know
Right? Like,
Dan is good for fucking paying Albert Hainsworth.
yeah. All I'm saying is that, like, it's clear that the Washington Commanders are not a strong organization, right? Like, so, like, what if he falls to the 2nd round and goes straight to the Steelers and sits behind Ben for 2 years and then is coming in?
Yeah.
Like, is he a success then? Like, it doesn't matter how he was, because there's so many factors that go into it. It doesn't matter when somebody dies tragically. So that's what I'm saying here. So here's the thing. Jake says, still going. This podcast lived long enough to become the villain. Jake, we are only an hour in. Let me tell you something. You're from Southern California. You got the short attention span, just bouncing back and forth between your Dodgers and your soccer and your beaches and your beautiful family and whatever. For some of us, we have a long commute to go help people get tours of the Lincoln bedroom, and we need a nice long podcast to help us get through that. Okay. So, we don't all have perfect weather, thank you. So there's no real easy way to transition from the tragic passing of Dwayne Haskins to me being super excited that the Lions are in Hard Knocks. So we're just going to get into it. R.I.P. Dwayne. So the Lions are going to be on Hard Knocks. And if this was a few years ago, I would actually be very excited. Like that crazy Todd Haley, Hugh Jackson, like fighting each other.
I wish they would have fucking played that. I so wish we got the uncut version. It just like had like a crazy cut. Like you're like, oh my God, we just missed something.
Yeah. And then, or the Joe Philbin having to fire Ocho Cinco on television. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah.
The Jarrell Revis holdout and Rex Ryan just swearing nonstop about it. That was awesome. Yeah. But last year we got Jerry Jones putting salt on his breakfast sandwich. So and like Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott getting themselves gifts or something. Like, I think if we had the original Hard Knocks, the good Hard Knocks, Dan Campbell would be fantastic for this, because he's going to be he's going to be on camera. He's going to be all over it. He's out here talking about biting kneecaps, and he wants live lions as mascots. And I mean, but like, he's also going for it on 4th down correctly a lot. Like, for some reason, he would just be absolutely fascinating. It'd be Jared Goff's 3rd time in like 5 years on Hard Knocks. So
yeah.
But like it could be interesting if they decide to make it interesting again and not feature the 3rd string guard trying to make the team like they did for the Cowboys last year.
So here's my thing about this. If you guys are on a losing streak, right? And like, what content, like what is it going to be? Like, what are they going to do?
Oh, they're going to do a whole lot. Okay. So, because here's the thing about the Lions is that the Lions are never good, but we always have some good players. So the Lions are going to continue losing probably until the heat death of the universe. But TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and potentially Malik Willis at the number 2 pick, the quarterback out of Liberty, will all be like super relevant for fantasy, which means people will watch to try to get a feel for like how much share of the backfield is DeAndre Swift going to get, and like is TJ Hockenson healthy again so he can get passes, and is DJ Shark going to take away targets from Amon-Ra St. Brown? For the players, it's going to be interesting. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown is named Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have a feeling he's interesting. Like I just
you can't have a name like that where it gets 7-11 or some shit. Like you got to play football. You got to play something. Or if he was
if he was the personality type to be like, I don't this name's too flashy, whatever, he would just change it. He'd just go by like AR. Right? He'd be A and Brown. I'm AR Brown, like AJ Brown, right? By the way, AJ Brown is named Arthur Juan, and he should never go by AJ. Everyone would call me Arthur Juan all the time.
Wow.
Just, it's Arthur Juan and Clev here to host political football, like all the time. Yeah. So I think he's probably going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to finally see the Lions on it. I just really hope we get like a vintage. And also, it'd be great if there was like some huge fight. Yeah, this draft, Malik Willis, number 2. He comes in, he's winning the camp battle, and he and Jared Goff just get a full-on fist fight. It'd be amazing.
I doubt that.
Because Jared Goff knows better?
Yeah.
He does.
He's not slapping my man like that.
No. No, he is not. Also, I might be hinting a lot that I want the Lions to take Malik Willis at number 2, and this is a huge turnaround from when this was first suggested to me. I was adamantly against it, and now I'm pretty much completely in the bag for it. So next week when we do our draft preview, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going on and what the rumors are, because I am excited. Oh, by the way, tease, we will be live streaming the first round of the NFL draft 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we'll pitch that even more next week and everything. But here we will be live streaming the first round of the NFL draft. And keep in mind, the Lions pick at 2 and 32, and the Jets pick at number 4 and number 10. So our teams are going to be right there. Also, our teams are the Lions and the Jets. So we're probably going to be angry.
I know I am.
Actually, I might not be. The Lions tend to draft good players and they just not do good. The Jets, though, actually,
they might have just pass on fucking Randy Moss. You guys pass on Randy Moss. Fuck that.
Yeah, but you didn't pass on Jeff Lagerman, so.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, too soon.
Do you think when Keyshawn Johnson sent Blair Thomas a copy of his book, Blair fumbled it?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, you guys didn't pass. You guys took Keyshawn Johnson first overall in like the best wide receiver draft in history. So
yeah, but Keyshawn was good though.
Yeah, not as good as Marvin Harrison.
I mean, he had Peyton Manning
or Terrell Owens.
Who had Steve Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the Jets are worse at drafting than the Lions. Eric Ebron exempted. I mean, that's pretty bad. We need a downfield passing threat to take pressure off of Calvin Johnson. Should we draft Odell Beckham? No. Let's draft Eric Ebron. Yeah, things like that. That could be on Hard Knocks. That'd be fun. Speaking of the draft in Detroit, in 2024, the draft will be held in Detroit. Big week for Detroit when all this news broke. Clearly, I'll be going. I expect half the chat will be going. I'm going to try to talk people from not in Detroit to come to Detroit to go. Cleve. Try to get you so you can see the glory that is Southeastern Michigan. Get you over to Ann Arbor for a little bit. Henry Ford Museum, learning some history.
All right.
Motown, USA. But yeah, I'm very excited for the draft to be in Detroit. You know, growing up, my dad and I would watch the draft every year from start to finish. A couple years when I was real little, we went to the Silver Dome for like the Lions watch parties for the draft. I mean, it was super fun, but we never made it to Radio City for the draft. So to have it come to Detroit is just awesome.
Yeah, no, if it's in your hometown, man, you got to be there for that, you know.
It's going to be it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited about that. Would you go to the draft like it's hard for you because you're from Northern Jersey. It was in New York for so long. It wouldn't
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah.
that interesting if it came back
No,
to.
no. Well, that's the thing. Like, people from that area, like, it's not exciting. It's just not. People go, but they go to be mad.
That's why I'm going.
Because when the pick comes in, everyone's like, "Oh," and then everyone's pissed. It's pissed off because Woody just never does the right thing. So whatever.
No, Woody Johnson may be still a bigger criminal than Dan Snyder. We'll see.
Are you ever gonna let that go?
Am I gonna let Woody Johnson committing treason against the United Kingdom for Donald Trump go? No, I don't think I will. I mean, I know we used to have beef with the United Kingdom, but that was quite a while ago. They're kind of the homies now. I don't think we can just be committing treason against them.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for you, Cleve, is what quarterback do you hope the Jets take in 2024 with the first overall pick?
Well, I actually to admit live on this, I haven't looked into because I think it's either you or someone said it wasn't a very big heavy quarterback draft. It was more
No. I said 2024 when I'm
2024.
Yeah, because by then Zach Wilson will have been a full bust. He'll be gone. He'll still be terrible, and he'll be picking first overall. So, like, are you looking at Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy?
I think we're gonna have Zach still. We're gonna have Zach still.
You're gonna take a guard out of Grambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right. Last thing we're gonna cover in this episode is a preview of the USFL, which starts this Saturday. So we're getting spring football. I'm very excited about this. The football probably going to be trash.
New Jersey Generals go.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Cleve's all fired up. He's got a squad and everything. All right. He's ready to go.
That's the game. That's who's playing. New Jersey Generals.
Yeah, exactly. Against the Birmingham Stallions.
Something like that.
They're definitely playing Birmingham because it's the only home team. But spring football again, we had the AAFL and it disappeared and it didn't work out. And then there was something last year and it disappeared, XFL, I think, and it disappeared, didn't work out. But this league has nothing to do with the league from the early 80s, which, Cleve, I'm sure you know everything about because you were like 30.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't joke. I think Don was almost 30 in the early 80s. I should be careful. It has nothing to do with anybody associated with that, which is good because Trump owned the New Jersey team. But they brought back like the uniforms, the names, and all that for eight of the squads. And this league is fully backed by Fox Sports, $150 million for 3 years.
Wow.
So we're going to get 3 years of this league, which will give it a real chance to get going with games broadcast mostly on Fox, but also a couple on NBC.
See, that was the problem for what was it? The AF? What the fuck was the league
AAFL.
called? The problem was like you couldn't find their games for shit. Like you would be like, what channel is on 862? It was like, no, I'm dead serious. Like you, like I wouldn't even know what the games were, and it lasted 3 weeks. But yeah, they didn't have a full hedge like this. Like I mean, 150 million behind you, it's pretty good. At least you're gonna pay the players.
Yeah, Don pointing out that the Michigan Panthers were one of the teams then and one of the teams now, and that the Panthers won the first championship. So Detroit does have a pro football championship. Thank you very much.
Who did Herschel play for?
Oh, that's a great question.
And who did Steve Young play for? Steve Young played for a team in 1985. I can't remember who the team was.
Herschel Marcus Dupree went to the USFL.
Yeah,
originally.
Some guys came out of that.
Yeah, did Anthony Carter go there first?
The
USFL,
the Minnesota Viking Anthony Carter.
Yeah, the University of Michigan Anthony Carter. Thank you. I don't know. Anyway, they had they had some people. Got AC Carter here, Joe says. This league does not have Herschel Walker. This league does not have a lot of top talent. Not yet, anyways. But Bobby Hebert. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And apparently
Tampa Bay Express.
But not the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah, and he parlayed his salary at the time, and he made some Walker played for the Generals because he was Trump's boy.
Oh yeah, and he still is.
We mean that in the kindest way.
I don't mean it kindly at all.
This is political football, so yeah.
Yes. No, Herschel Walker is Uncle Ruckus for Trump. Clearly, I mean, there's no getting around that. I mean, he's just awful. I mean, I have all the compassion in the world for his mental illness, but like Pete Davidson says, having a mental illness is not an excuse to be a jackass. And Herschel Walker is an asshole. So, and I don't think if his brain was working exactly right, he would not be an asshole anymore. And if he would be, well, then I guess we'll never find out.
And Don's dropping some knowledge. Yeah, played for the Houston Gamblers.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Don's drop. That was the other league. Man. You know.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. So this league doesn't have anything quite like that. So the structure is there's a North Division, a South Division, each with 4 teams. I think they all play each other once for 7 total games. Then there's be semifinals and then a championship game. So it'll be about 12 weeks or so, I think, in total. Yeah, for everything.
Yeah, they pretty much like accelerated their season, so like we don't have to drag out bad play. So
and they want to be done before training camp.
Yeah,
so that their players have a chance to go to the NFL. Ship. So let me see here. I got a couple. Make sure I get my notes here exactly right. Cleve, do you want to start by discussing some of the players and coaches or the rules changes?
Rules changes.
All right, rules changes. Now, when these rules first came out, Cleve in the private chat was talking a bunch of shit, and I wasn't happy because I really like these changes. So have at you, sir. Here we go. First things first. After a touchdown, there are 3 options. You can go for 1, you can go for 2, or you can go for 3 from the 10-yard line. This is a huge deal because it means being down 18 is no longer absolutely a 3-score game. It can conceivably be a 2-possession game if you convert 2 3-pointers as well. It also means if you're down 21, you don't need to put the ball in the end zone 3 times. You can kick a field goal and then put the ball in the end zone twice and still tie the game. So this rule should lead to more exciting finishes because teams won't ever actually be like, they won't be as far behind as they were, as they are in pretty much every other form of football.
Okay.
That's it. Just you were talking all this shit in the chat.
No, see, I'm not a betting guy, and that's exciting for DK and FD. But for me, I like my football NFL style.
You don't think the NFL should put in a go for 3 from the 10-yard line?
No.
Oh, this is legit.
This is
awesome.
I didn't even agree with the NFL changing the overtime rule. I stand on make the stop. I stand on that. It's the reason why we keep score. So I'm a boomer. I'm old school with that. I'm old school with that stuff.
Quick digression, because I actually forgot to change the overtime rule and going through and playing all the things that we missed. So the NFL, as far as I know, they changed it so that each team's guaranteed a possession in overtime in the playoffs, which is dumb without any other changes, because now it just switches the benefit to the team that gets the ball second. Like, it takes the exact same benefit the team that got the ball had and just gives it to the other team. Like, were the NFL owners walking around Palm Beach being like, wow, why do teams at home in baseball get to bat in the bottom of the inning? That doesn't make any sense to me. How come every team in college football chooses defense first when it's their overtime? Is there anything to that? No, probably not. This is going to be our rule now. Like, without some other change to go along with it, this rule just shifts the obscene advantage to the second team away from the first team. So it doesn't actually solve the problem. It just switches who has the problem. Now, they might be able to do something with, change something else to make it a little bit better, but it's not good in and of itself.
No, I stand on what the old rule was.
But
or whatever it was.
Yeah. But I think the reason that make the stop is a boomer take, and I don't mean that pejoratively, I mean not completely, is that defenses used to actually be able to make stops a lot more easily, right?
Mhm.
Like when Deacon Jones could give you a concussion when he was rushing the quarterback, it was a lot easier to make the stop. When Ronnie Lott could hit someone with a baseball bat going over the middle, it was a lot easier to make the stop. But the way the game is designed now, it is much harder to make the stop. So the expectation to make the stop has to be a lot lower than it was in the Boomer heyday. And so that's why I think it's shifted. If you had asked me this in 1987, I wouldn't have had an opinion because I was 4. But if I could have had an opinion, I would have said make the stop, right? Like, because Steve Atwater and Joey Browner. Nowadays, I don't think make the stop is actually fair. I actually don't think I even expect somebody to stop Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
See, the rule change was made because the 2 teams that got fucking shut out were high-powered teams, and they were teams that were kind of like Super Bowl bound. That if that wasn't the case, this rule wouldn't have never been changed. Yeah, those guys cried about that bullshit.
Lions. Yeah.
Huh?
They weren't going to change it for the Steelers and the Lions.
Exactly. Yeah, they fucking cried because the Chiefs like, oh, fuck this. We could have went. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, dude. You know, look at Buffalo. You know, like it's just, I get why they did it because they want the fan base to be happy. But again, it's like, you know, it's like for instance, right? If you run up the score, like if you're up like 40 points and your starters are still in, that's bullshit. You know, get the other guys in. But if you're still chucking it downfield and you're up 68 to like 3, and you're still doing that, then that's Bush League. But then again, if you're running a score up on somebody, make the stop.
Second quick digression, then I swear we'll get back to the USFL. Running up the score does not exist at the varsity high school level or higher. Like it just doesn't. Like, just you should absolutely, like, you might want to pull your starters and backups play.
Pull your starters.
But you should call the same offense.
Yeah, right. I'm still going to score touchdowns.
You should try to score as much as you possibly can, with absolutely no mercy. Like, if I were the head coach of Alabama and I was playing against some small school, Eastern Michigan, Middle Tennessee, Notre Dame, I would try to score as many points as possible. I would try to put 100 up. And then when somebody complained about it, I would just say, well, they got their check. They got what they came for. If they don't want to play us, they don't have to play us, but they like the money.
Yeah.
You know, we're happy to play Michigan and Texas and USC every single week. Right. Yep. But they need money. And so they got destroyed. And in the NFL, same thing. I like none. Now, 7th grade football, don't come on. You know what I mean? But varsity or higher, no, forget about it. Just absolute destruction.
Stop. Make the stop.
Yep. Jake, by the way, just right in my head, make the stop used to be useful, but the NFL saw offensive oriented and rule changes to heavily favor the passing game at the expense of the defense. And that's really the point.
That's right, Jacob. Yep.
Also, overtime is at the end of the game. So defensive players will be more tired than quarterbacks, right? So that even bigger disadvantage by that point. I don't think make the
stop.
Yeah, make the stop is just as useful anymore. Sorry, I saw this from Paul, who said the inherent advantage is smaller this way, which is probably mathematically true, but it's not true enough to solve for this. Nobody's going to ever correctly take the ball first in overtime now. You will always defer in overtime.
Exactly, yes.
There's nobody will ever take it first, which means that they've just switched the advantage instead of finding a way to try to make it even, which is more or less my point. It probably is not quite as big of an advantage. But we didn't all go to Notre Dame, nerd. Like, we don't all quite know the math at the top of our head. But yeah, that's why I don't like that overtime rule change at all. I do like these USFL rule changes though. So we've got the ability to go for 3, which is awesome. And as Joe says, anything that makes the games more exciting, he's for. So am I. The second one though, overtime will consist of 3 alternating 2-point conversion attempts, with the points leader winning the game. If the game is tied, it will become sudden death on 2-point attempts.
Doing too much, man.
It's a shootout. It's a shootout like soccer or hockey.
It makes sense. This is pouring Fruity Pebbles into your fucking cornflakes, and it's a big mess.
That's awesome. Fruity Pebbles and cornflakes is good.
That's diabetes.
I mean, most things that are good are, yeah. But yeah, have you never had Fruity Pebbles and cornflakes together?
No. I mean, the fact that
you never been to a Denny's?
No, I've never been to a Denny's. But the fact that you said that, man, it's criminal. It's criminal.
No, criminal is pouring the milk first and then putting the cereal in. That's criminal.
Yeah. That's actually un-American as well.
Yeah,
So,
I have a friend, shout out to James, who will put on one sock and then that shoe, and then the other sock and then the other shoe.
Yeah.
And if I only saw him do that and knew nothing else about him, I would just assume he was a serial killer. He's not. He's awesome and like super kind. But that's crazy. That's crazy. Mixing Fruity Pebbles and cornflakes is not crazy because cornflakes are bigger, and so you get the mix of the textures together. Like just try it.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, political football, where I convinced the personal trainer to eat Fruity Pebbles and cornflakes together.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't really care too much about this overtime thing, but I do like the idea of a shootout style for overtime, and I do want to see it in action. So I would like to see if it works. You know what I mean? Like that would be. This is the place to see it. This is the place to try it. Okay. The next rule is that 2 forward passes behind the line of scrimmage are legal.
Any two during the entire game?
Any play. You can pass the ball forward behind the line of scrimmage twice. So, for example, you can, so say the quarterback rolls out right to his right, and he throws a screen behind him to a wide receiver, and the receiver is backed up behind the quarterback, so now the receiver can throw it downfield, right?
Okay.
Now that wide receiver can be in front of the quarterback as long as he's behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Right. So you can even throw a quick screen to a wide receiver, and he could just turn and throw it himself.
Yeah.
You could do a double reverse, throw it back to the first reverse guy, who can then throw it again downfield. I've always wanted to see 2 forward passes behind the line. Honestly, 2 forward passes on any given play would be insane. It'd be really fun to see. I wish it sounds like rugby.
It sounds like
rugby.
I wish I could
do that on Madden, but behind the line of scrimmage, this is going to be cool. If we get some innovative coaching, we're going to see some really, really cool plays. Well, we're not, because the camera's not going to know what's happening. These other football cameramen are going to try to track this ball and not be able to find it, but it's going to be awesome. 2 more here. The next one is that you can go for an onside kick or have a 4th and 12 from your own 33-yard line. And if you convert it, you get to keep the ball. If you don't, the other team gets the ball at wherever you're stopped.
Oh, wow. See, again, man, this dilutes, to me, this dilutes football, because the only 2 rules that I like are college rules and NFL rules. I don't like Canadian football rules. You know what I'm saying? So this is to me, Canadian football shit. This is gimmicky shit to me.
Sir, listen to me. I know that you're a boxer and you train people for boxing. If you disparage my Toronto Argonauts one more time, keep the Toronto Argonauts name out of your mouth. All right.
I will.
You cannot be. I will. The CFL is awesome, and I will hear no slander against the CFL. The CFL is legit.
110-yard field. Seriously.
You can get a running head start as a wide receiver before the play, as long as you don't cross the line of scrimmage first. The end zone is 20 yards deep. You could run a corner post from the 1-yard line.
This is what I'm saying.
It's awesome. If you call a fair catch, you give up a point or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's too much to follow for me. And I think that's what it is. Maybe in year 2 of this thing, and I'm seeing all these innovations play out, maybe I'm like, oh shit, this is dope. But reading about it, I'm like, what is this going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I would never kick an onside kick because
you
never get them. So the chance to go for a 4th and 12 from your own 33,
I'm doing that.
Sure. If you're in the position of needing an onside kick anyways.
Yeah, the outcome is you might as well go for it.
Yeah. So I really like that one. Jake's got a good question we'll get to after I get this the last one out here. Okay, Cleve, tell me what you think of this one. Instead of officials measuring down in distance with the chains, they're going to put a microchip in the football that will report the placement of the ball to the officials.
I've always said that. I've said that for years. Because Matt didn't like the chain gang, which I'm like, I didn't have any problem with the chain gang, but he's like, since this sport is over 100 years old, we shouldn't have a chain gang. But I know football with a chain gang. But I've always said that, because when it comes down to ball placement, that costs games. A fourth and 1 versus a 4th and 6. I'm sorry, a 4th and 3. It's huge. 4th and 1 in a clutch situation, you're going. 4th and 3, you're like, shit, it's 3 yards. We might not. Yeah, this game is over. But if the chip says, hey, this is where we got to place this ball. So how are they going to, like, is the field outfitted for that shit? The ball?
You're asking the wrong person. All I know is that if they can do the shit in tennis, they got to be able to do it in football. When you do it in soccer, like, they have to be able to do it in football, right? It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. Like, we can launch a missile from Chicago and hit a target within like 3 inches on the other side of the world. We have to be able to tell where a football is down, right?
Yeah.
So I like all these rule changes, even like the overtime one. I don't think I'm gonna love, but I at least want to see it in practice. Yeah, because maybe I will. But there's only one way to know, and that's to see it. But the going for 3, I think, is a great thing. And then Jake asked a good question here. He says, how do you see going for 3 from the 10-yard line play out? Will it be more successful often enough to forgo a 1 point or 2 point? So the NFL, historically, a 2-point conversion is about a 47% proposition. A extra point from where it's at is like 94%. So it lines up like that. I wouldn't be shocked if the going for 10 was like the same, for going for 3 from 10 was like the same equivalent, right? Otherwise, about going like shooting 3-pointers in the NBA, where it's really all you should do. You should either shoot 3-pointers or dunk the ball. Everything else is a waste of time. So I think it's probably going to be more like that. Now, Paul made a point earlier where he thinks that none of the coaches are going to be good enough to like actually they take advantage of these rules, and I think that might be the case. I think that could be the problem.
Too much innovation.
I haven't seen this yet, but Cleve's cracking up. Cleve, not his old school boomer. He thinks with being for using new technology that is of the devil. All right,
it's good. Well, thanks, Jacob. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I like they used to say 1,000 years ago in England, medicine is sin. You just got to be afraid. Got to be afraid of what you don't know. Okay. Before we get out of here, just a quick rundown of the players, some coaches, things to get used to for this new league. There's no Jim Kelly. There's no Herschel Walker. The first overall pick in the entire draft was Shea Patterson by the Michigan Panthers.
Who's that?
Exactly. No, he was a quarterback at Michigan. And he single-handedly has cost Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones millions of dollars because he can never throw the ball to them. And so they're like 5th-round picks. However, he may have already lost his job to Paxton Lynch.
I'm sorry, that was like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. So we have a quarterback battle between Shea Patterson and Paxton Lynch for my Michigan Panthers. But don't worry, their head coach is Jeff Fisher.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
But yeah, so that sucks for me because the Michigan Panthers are probably not going to win. But New Jersey has a team, as you mentioned. They have the Generals. Their quarterback is 5'10" and went to Tarleton State, and their head coach is Mike Riley. So you're also doomed.
Yeah, that's 3 things that don't go with quarterbacking. 5'10", and what school?
Tarleton State.
Where the fuck is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't bother to look. Notice I also didn't put his name down. He was the 4th overall pick in this draft, by the way.
Oh man.
Trent Richardson?
No Trent Richardson?
No Trent Richardson in this one.
Wow.
I'm poking a little bit of fun here. There is some decent skill position talent in here. There's some good wide receivers, good in college. A couple played a little bit in the NFL. Isaiah Zuber from the Patriots is in here. College football fans remember Kevontae Turpin from TCU. He's like 4'7", but runs like a 3.4 40. But he's so small, but he's awesome to watch. He's like Tavon Austin. He actually is just like Tavon Austin, but Tavon Austin was in the NFL for years for some reason. I think that the team that's going to win is going to be the Tampa Bay Bandits. And I think it's going to be because of their head coach, Clev. Who is the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits? I'll give you a hint. We brought him up earlier talking about Hard Knocks.
Talking about Hard Knocks?
Yeah. And the past Hard Knocks and how we liked them.
Oh, Rex? I mean, not Rex.
No, it's not Rex.
Okay. I was like, shit, Rex is...
And it's not Hugh Jackson either. It's the guy who almost gave him the hands.
Todd Haley?
Todd Haley. Yeah. Yeah. Todd Haley's the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits. And he is probably like by far the best head coach in this league. Kevin Sumlin's the head coach of the Houston Gamblers, I think, which is not bad. But I think Todd Haley probably is far and away the best head coach in this league. And for that reason alone, Tampa Bay to win the whole thing.
Yeah. Jacob makes a good point, Doug Flutie. But Doug Flutie is an outlier, you know, because he was a Canadian great as well.
Yes, Doug Flutie also won the Heisman Trophy at Boston College. He did not go to Tarleton State. You know, there are some priors here to look at. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. If a quarterback wins the Heisman Trophy, I don't care how tall they are, they should get a shot to play in the pros. How's that?
Yeah.
We'll just call it that.
I agree.
If you're good enough to win the Heisman Trophy at 5'7", you're probably good enough to play in the NFL at 5'7", at least good enough to get a shot.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the USFL preview. Games start this weekend. DraftKings is doing a full USFL slate this weekend. I'll definitely be playing that. Paul's going to be playing that too. I don't know if he committed to that yet, but he'll be playing too. $12 buy-in, $100,000 to first. If you're interested in trying DraftKings, it's a good time to try because nobody knows what they're doing because nobody knows who's playing or who the people are or what kind of offense they're going to run. Like nobody knows. So time to come in, swing, and try to get $100,000. Clev, before we get out of here, do you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we covered everything that we needed to. It's great. Looking for there's like I have to give you your flowers that I said to you at the end of the season that this is gonna be a quiet fucking off season, and boy was I wrong.
Yeah, I mean I didn't want to bring that up myself just because like I knew you were so wrong at the time that like it would be rude for me to bring it up now, right?
So no victory lap.
Yeah, I didn't want to like take a victory lap on it because I was just like, man, it's gonna be something. But yeah, so we got a lot of stuff though, but we got it covered here. We'll be back next week, Wednesday night, doing probably 8:30 again, doing a draft preview. Again, we're live stream on YouTube if you're listening on the audio version. In the description, the show description, I'm going to include the link to the YouTube page. So, like, subscribe, click the notifications bell, all that. So when we go live, you get the notification. So, that we're on. Next week, we're going to do a draft preview. We're going to go over some of the top prospects at each position. We'll go through review a mock draft that I think is probably not absurd. I'll try to find one. And we'll really get people prepped and ready for some of the top prospects in the draft. The following week, Thursday, we'll be right back here live streaming the entire first round. So that'll be a fun time. And then we'll set up the rest of the offseason schedule after that. But that is the plan from here on out. So Clev, thank you so much for being here and doing a great job as always. And I will see you later.
All right. Thanks everyone for taking time out to support the show. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. This has been fun.
Peace.
Later.